live, Alex? Good evening. Time to call to order the Board of Zoning Appeals, Franklin, Indiana. It's July the 2nd, 2025, 6 p.m. First thing on the agenda tonight is roll call. Mr. Nally.
Here.
Mr. Gruce.
Here.
Mr. Kemsky is absent. Mr. Acton.
Here.
And Chairman Bill Carson is also here. Also with us, we have City Attorney Lynn Gray, and we have Alex with us from Planning Department as Senior Planner. Next up will be approval of minutes. Do we have any omissions, errors, or edits to make?
Since Julie's gone, I guess this will be the last time I put it on the public record, but she did a great job of catching all our ums and ahs and in between, so she's now retired. But I reviewed them for your benefit, and I found no changes or corrections.
No changes? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the BZA minutes for May 7th, 2025.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Next up is swearing in. Anyone who plans to speak either for or against or to present tonight, please stand and be sworn in. We'll do everyone at once here, so
Make
it'll
it
save
go.
time later in the evening, so we'll get everybody at
Go ahead and
once.
stand up, and I'll swear you in.
Swear at him, Lynn.
It's free. Yeah, might as well. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give tonight be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Any old business, Alex?
No, sir, no old business.
Okay, ready for some new business? I see ZB 25-3, a variance for Rob and Amy Richardson. Ready for an overview from you.
Yes, sir. Let's pull it up real quick.
Was this
Okay.
presented in a timely manner?
Yes, sir, it was. ZB 25-3 is a developmental standards, or two developmental standards variance requests by Rob and Amy Richardson at 201 North Main Street. The subject property is located at the northeast corner of Main Street and King Street, just a few blocks away from here. Residential property, single family. Just zooming in here, if we want to look at it a little bit closer. Some notes about the project here tonight. Their petitioners are planning a whole home remodel, including two additions to the home. There would be an addition kind of on the south end of the home that would involve a kitchen and a primary bedroom suite enlargement, if you will, I guess. And then on the north end of the home would be a two-car garage that would be added on. An existing single-car carport that's attached to the home now would be removed and the two-car garage would be added, along with a home office on the second story of that addition. The property is considered to be a corner lot. As such, it has two side yards, and the side yard setback for this zoning district is 5 feet. The current house, as we'll see later on when we get to the site plans, is considered to be legal nonconforming in terms of the side yard setback along the east side of the property. The legal nonconforming means that it can continue to be where it's currently located. It could even be, additions could also be permitted as long as it doesn't increase the nonconformity. In this case, the house and the property line to the east are not actually parallel to each other. The house has a slight angle toward the property line as it goes from the north to the south. So therefore, any addition to the south along that same foundation line technically makes it closer to the property line and increases the nonconformity. So in this case, for that south addition, they're requesting to encroach into that 5-foot side yard setback by 3.2 feet. So that would be toward the east property line, but that's for that south addition, as we're calling it. And then the north addition, for the garage and the office space, is not currently legal nonconforming to the north, but due to the size of the property and the configuration of the property and being able to locate a two-car garage in that area, they are requesting to encroach into that side yard setback by 3.3 feet or have a minimum setback of 1.7 feet. The property is zoned RTN for residential traditional neighborhood, and the comprehensive plan calls for this area to be core residential uses. Excuse me, whoops. The actual details of the request, the two variances, the first being to allow an encroachment of 3.2 feet into the minimum side yard setback where 5 feet is required, that's for the south addition. And then the second one, to allow an encroachment of 3.3 feet into the minimum side yard setback where 5 feet is required for the north addition. The petitioners have provided their own statement of intent, explaining their desires here. It is available on your online agenda there if you wanted to read through it. It was provided before the meeting as well. They have also provided building elevations and building plans showing the proposed work to be done. Just have them pulled up here for reference. They have also provided site plans, including survey work that was done, indicating how close these additions would be. The site plan on the left, obviously difficult to read here, but you can zoom in on the iPads if you need to. On those is showing the south addition, and the one on the right is showing the north addition. Otherwise, this request is ready to be heard.
Thank you, Alex. Who speaks for CB 25-3? Guys? Okay, if you would come to the podium here and sign in there.
While Amy's signing in, just to assist anybody who's making presentations tonight, but I think you probably already know. As you know, there are 3 criteria for developmental standards that this board has to review your request based upon. And if you could just touch upon those as part of the record, then we'll have the record. And you can certainly include your statement of intent as part of that explanation as to what you're doing. So generally speaking, people tell us what they're going to do and why this is necessary, or why the request is necessary.
Okay, so just tell us who you are, and we're ready to hear your presentation.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Richardson.
I'm Rob Richardson.
We purchased this property about a year and a half ago, and we had watched it solidly deteriorate for lots of years, and are planning to do something we said we'd never do, which is remodel a historic home in Franklin. We sold our home in the Center Grove area and where we had been for 24 years, and then the plan is to redo this home. With the addition that we're looking at, I think there are 3 different criteria, right,
Yes,
Lynn?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I think the first would be general welfare, that it does not adversely affect the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. In fact, in our mind, we're hoping that it increases the community and provides kind of a focal point, bring that house back to its original glory, because I think everyone that has talked about that home, to us at least, says that it was a pretty amazing home for lots and lots of years, and we'd love to see it brought back to that. And then the adjacent property, I think that Alex touched on the fact that the Brad Ott did the survey, and he did sit and talk to Alex and Joanna and said, 10 years from now, you all are going to be looking at this saying, these property lines are really, really wonky. And you're going to remember Brad Ott sat here and said they're really, really wonky. But he did say that they are not parallel like they should be on our property line to the east. And so therefore, our addition does not encroach on the property to the east any more than the existing property line, or the existing building lines do. The property line is wonky, but the actual distance to that next building does not increase at all, or decrease at all. And then I believe that, let's see here, practical difficulty. One of the things for us is we are utilizing the whole inside of that home, including the third floor, which is a pretty cool space. But then we are hoping to increase the kitchen size on the main level, which would require that addition on the southeast corner. The practical difficulty on that, that it would provide with this variance is just that we wouldn't be able to do that. It would be, I guess it wouldn't be as glorious as the home we're planning. And then on the north side of the property, we already, well, let me back up a little bit. You may or may not know, but we're business owners in the community, and our business is about a block and a half away from this home. And one of the things that we would really, really like to create is some boundaries for who knows when we're home and who knows when we're not home type of thing. We would like to have some sense of privacy, as much privacy as you can have in one of the busiest corners in Franklin. But the garage for us helps provide that. That helps us be able to pull our cars in, shut the door, and it's not like people can see whether we're there or we're not there. So with that said, on the third criteria, the practical difficulty, it does provide a difficulty for us if we cannot do a garage there. I would say also the adjacent property to the north is someone who actually lived in the house at one point. And we have developed a relationship with her. In fact, we already maintain her property for her and mow her grass, take care of all of her landscaping, all of her things, snow removal, that kind of thing. So for her, she was going to try to be here, but she had her granddaughter's 21st birthday tonight, but she has not really. She's all for somebody being in there, and she's all for us being in there. So, I guess, do you have go ahead.
I mean, my only thing is that we have a large family. We have 6 children, 8 grandchildren now. And so in utilization of the structure itself, we want to create a lot of space that can house them from a sleeping standpoint and so forth. So with putting the garage in and putting the office above that, it's additional space that we can then utilize the other space inside to house children, grandchildren, and so forth. So that's really a part of the garage as well, is that additional space to be able to accommodate other space inside the house.
Okay. Anything else to add? Good? Thank you. This time we'll open up to public comment. Does anyone in the audience wish to speak either for or against the petition?
Alex, did I read the staff report right? Because there is a legal non-conforming use, the effect is really less than half a foot?
The
these
legal
development standards.
non-conforming structure, yeah.
Structure, I'm sorry, not use, I'm sorry. So really, the variance is
On
less
the, on the
half-
south side or the east, along the east property line is, I think,
Half
0.4
foot.
feet that it increases or decreases the setback over that side from where it currently sits.
And
As the petitioner brought up as well, it was mentioned in the staff report, but I didn't mention it earlier. The survey work that was done by Brad Ott and Main Street Consulting also had located the corner or the foundation line of the house to the east, and it had also indicated that it was along a very similar angle as their house is, so angling away as it goes to the south from that property line. So even with this addition is not getting closer to that house to the east because they're angled they're at a similar angle.
And Mr. Nally looked at me, for those who don't know, Amy and Rob's business is Main and Madison, catty corner from there, so.
Okay, this time I'll open it up to questions from the board. ready for staff recommendation.
Sure. Staff is recommending approval of the petition with the 3 conditions as outlined in the staff report. Those being essentially just tying it down to what the request was, that the south setback encroachment is limited to a maximum encroachment of 3.2 feet, and the north setback encroachment is limited to a maximum encroachment of 3.3 feet. And then that all applicable federal, state, county, and local permits and approvals are required, including but not limited to compliance with all building, fire, and health code. Actually, let me amend both of these. It should say the south addition setback encroachment and the north addition setback encroachment.
And is the petitioner okay with the amendment to those conditions? And do you agree to those conditions?
Let the record reflect that the petitioners have agreed to the conditions.
Okay, we'll be open up to a motion at this time.
I move to approve ZB-25-3,
We have a motion?
Subject to the staff conditions
subject
as
to the,
amended.
the conditions as amended, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, motion.
Second.
Okay, motion seconded. We'll take a vote. Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Gruce,
Yes.
Mr. Acton,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Congratulations.
Now that the vote's been taken, you're gonna need more space to house those cinnamon rolls and con rolls that you guys bake out there.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Okay, so yours is all wrapped up. If you guys would like to make your way out, now would be the opportune time. But if you'd like to
you're
listen to
welcome to
another
stay.
petition, you're
You're-
welcome to stay as
You're
well.
welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay.
Next on the agenda is ZB 25-4. We have a special exemption and a variance for Bay Crane Midwest. Alex, ready for an overview?
Yes, sir. So ZB 25-4 is a special exception and development standards variance request by Bay Crane Midwest at 800 Industrial Drive. A couple of quick overview aerials here to show location of the property. The property is on the far east end of Industrial Drive. I've kind of highlighted here with the yellow line just indicating where that main railroad line lies in relation to the property that runs along the east line of that property. It actually has a spur that goes along that northeast corner and along the north line of the property as well. Just zooming in if we need to look at this later on. It does also have an Indian American water tower on the far east side as well. The property is approximately 20 acres in size. It's an industrial zone property, an industrial used area. It was a former raised trash service location. They had stored their roll-off containers and their totes and various other things on the property in the past. I'll let petitioner get into the specifics of what this next statement means, but they have listed that they're a specialized transportation and logistics planning for the implementation of heavy hauling solutions is what their business involves, along with crane rental services. The use itself is a non-listed use in our zoning ordinance land use table. When that is the case, the planning director has the authority to determine which use it most closely aligns to. And then we move forward with whether that use is permitted or special exception or non-permitted. In this case, it was determined that the crane equipment sales and rental use is most similar to farm equipment sales and service use, which is a special exception use in this IG zoning district. So because of that, they are here for the special exception for that. And then additionally, as I had already mentioned, the site is adjacent to that railroad main line, and they are requesting a development standards variance to not provide opaque fence and other landscaping screening along that railroad side. As I mentioned, it's IG for industrial general zoning, and the comprehensive plan calls for this area to be manufacturing. Whoops, I didn't get the applicant updated on this one, my apologies. But the details are updated to the specific request for the special exception is to allow a crane equipment sales and rental use, most similar to a farm equipment sales and services use in the IG zoning district, and development standards variance to be permitted to provide no fencing nor landscaping as screening of the outdoor storage area adjacent to the railroad main line / siding. Petitioner has provided their own statement of intent, if you will, and calling out of each of the decision criteria for both the special exception and the development standards variance that's available on the agenda for review. And they've also provided their site plan here, just demonstrating graphically where they're proposing to provide the screening and meet the requirements of the ordinance, which is the solid green line, shows where they would provide the screening. And then the dashed line along the east and northeast curve there would be the areas that they're actually requesting that development standards variance to not provide the opaque screening nor the landscaping that's required for the outdoor storage area. Otherwise, the request is ready to be heard. We have the decision criteria here if we need to review them for both special exception and development standards variance.
Thank you, Alex.
And then Greg, I can pull up your slideshow.
Thank you. You guys speak for Crane?
I am, thank you. Greg Ilko, Crossroad Engineers, 115 North 17th Avenue, Beech Grove, Indiana, 46107. And just real quickly, point of order, Ms. Gray, is there going to be two separate motions?
There'll be two separate.
Correct. So I'll start
You
with the
can use the same
decision.
criteria.
Do you want me to read both decision criteria for special exception and then variance, or wait until, I don't want to count my chickens?
Yeah, no, do it all
I'll do
one
it all.
time, and then if we have a question, since I seem to know everybody in the audience,
Fair enough.
then we'll be able to address it if we need to.
Okay.
So, yeah. Thank
So
you.
I have with me Michael Weir, who's the Director of Commercial Project Development with T&W Design Build, Crossroad and T&W, pending a hopeful successful hearing this afternoon, will be the design and build team for the project. I also behind me have Mr. Brian Gibson, who's the president of Bay Crane Midwest, and I'd just like to offer him the microphone here for a few minutes to give a little bit of background about Bay Crane Midwest itself. If you want to go to the next slide.
Hi, my name's Brian Gibson. I'm president of Bay Crane Midwest. It's a family-owned company. It's been around for about 75 years, originated in New York City. I ran a company over in Ohio called Capital City Group, was acquired by that company several years ago, and I run the Midwest Group, which consists of about 13 branches, and roughly just in the Midwest alone, we're about 1,000 employees. We've opened a branch over in the Indianapolis market about a year and a half ago, and we're looking to put a place of our own instead of renting from somewhere else. This was imperative for us to bring in to this area, because we bring a lot of equipment in for customers. We hold it, we store it, and then we ship it out to job sites for them and set it for them.
You want to go to the next slide, just kind of a.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess that's the purpose. We're going to receive customers' equipment as well as our own equipment. We're going to store there as well. And then ship to site, and then work on the site, and then we'll return back our equipment to the site. If not, if it goes to another job site. It's not always coming back to the yard. We're roughly going to have around 100 employees that will be staffed out of there. I do have employees that live down in this area. That was one of the reasons why we kind of looked down this way. We've got a large group of our workforce is down, lives in this part of town. But typically, we'll have no more than 35 people on site on a given day. Most of our clients are HVAC and utility companies. We do a lot of work for like Duke Power, AEP, and Lilly, and some of those other ones. We're going to be doing maintenance of our construction equipment there in the facility. We're also going to be doing some indoor storage and some outdoor storage of equipment. Typical hours are Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And as far as materials used, it's all just standard materials for routine maintenance and general office operations. No hazardous materials are kept on site. Like I said before, we're receiving customers' equipment. We're going to temporarily store it and then ship it to those sites. And as far as normal trash with standard waste management pickup, and really nothing else other than that.
All right, if you want to go to the next one. Oops. Oh, yeah, thank you very much. So with that, obviously the intent, and Alex touched on it in his introduction, is to allow for the crane equipment sales and rentals, which isn't a defined use within the ZO. So most similar is the farm sales and service, which is allowed by special exception within the current zoning of the current zoning district of the property. Just real quickly for your benefit, the vicinity map, we're on the kind of the north side of the city of Franklin, on the east side of 31, just north of Commerce Drive. If you want to go to the location map, kind of zooms in on the property. It is at the far east end of the cul-de-sac of Industrial Drive. And it's, the address of the property is 800 Industrial Drive, and it is 20.4 acres. Next slide. The surrounding zoning, as indicated in the staff report, if you saw that, basically IG all around us. Do have some MXC there on the west side of 31, but we've adjacent to unincorporated Johnson County parcels that are zoned heavy commercial to the east there. Next slide. Per the comprehensive plan, Alex touched on this as well. It is that color purple where the star is manufacturing, and we've got manufacturing all the way around us. And the manufacturing are areas intended to accommodate the large-scale businesses. Going to, cutting to the chase, it includes facilities that include outdoor storage materials and finished products, which falls in line with what the proposed use is. We do have light industrial, the little lighter colored pink, is identified on the long-term land use plan that I'm showing here. And that light industrial use is identified in the comprehensive plan to be in close proximity with manufacturing areas. So we are conforming with the comprehensive plan by what you can see on the map here. Next slide. So that all entails obviously the special exception for the use of the property itself. And then the development standards variance of Article 7, Chapter 17 is buffering and screening. As identified on the aerial photo, you can see the railroad, the main line railroad running north-south about the east side of the property. North is up on that photograph. And then there is the siding that actually cuts the northeast corner of the property. So the use, or the standards variance that we're requesting would be to eliminate the buffering and screening, the landscaping and the opaque fencing that would typically be required about the north and east side adjacent to the railroad infrastructure. The solid green line that you're seeing there, that would be fencing and screening per Chapter 7, or Article 7, Chapter 17. And then as far as the decision criteria, if you want to go next slide, for the general welfare, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or the general welfare of the community, as the proposed use on the subject property is consistent with the existing uses within the surrounding industrial development. The development standards, the requirements and development standards of the requested use as prescribed by the zoning ordinance will be met with the exception of the variance that we discussed. The ordinance intent granting the special exception will not be contrary to the general purpose served by this ordinance and will not permanently injure other property or uses in the same zoning district and vicinity, because the proposed use, again, is similar to those within the area. And then the comprehensive plan, as we just looked at the land use map, it will be consistent with the character of the zoning district in which it is located. And the Franklin Comprehensive Plan and it is compatible with permitted uses adjacent to the subject property. And the comprehensive plan identifies this area as the industrial use, manufacturing use specifically. And then the decision criteria, if you want to go to the second to last slide there, on the development standards, the general welfare, the approval will not be injurious to the health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community, as the proposed storage area that requires screening is adjacent to existing railroad and mainline siding. The lack of fencing and landscaping adjacent to the railroad will have no negative impact to the community. All other development standards related to the storage area will be met. And then adjacent properties, the use and value of the area adjacent to the properties included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, as the eastern adjoiner is a railroad right-of-way, and the east of that is property zoned heavy commercial as we identified on the zoning map. The property to the north is also zoned IG with truck loading docks that are north of the railroad siding that enters into the subject property. The existing and anticipated uses are consistent with the proposed use on the subject property. And then practical difficulty as far as the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in a practical difficulty due to the fact that the intent of the buffering and screening, it's to lessen potential conflicts between uses. The applicability here is questionable, if not negated, due to the existence of the railroad main line and siding, and no need for any potential conflicts of the adjoining northern and eastern properties. So last slide is simply, if you have any questions or answers, or I'll provide the answers. If you have any questions, Mr. Gibson or I will be happy to entertain. Thank you.
Take a breath.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I want to get through this.
Okay. This time we'll open up to public comment. Is anyone in the audience wishing to speak either for or against the petition? Seeing none, we'll go to the board then. Any questions, comments from the board? Seeing none, we'll go to Alex then, ready for recommendation.
Okay, move right along here. Okay, staff is recommending approval as outlined in the staff report for the special exception use with conditions A through G. Condition A being that special exception approval for a crane equipment sales and rental use runs with the petitioner at the subject property. B, that a minimum of 35 off-street parking spaces are required to be provided for employees. A minimum of 1 off-street parking space is required to be provided for each employee on site during the largest shift and for each business vehicle stored on site. D, that adequate and appropriately sized parking and storage spaces must be provided within an enclosed storage area for all cranes, tractors, and tractor trailers stored on site. E, handicap accessible parking spaces are required in accordance with Article 7, Chapter 10 of the zoning ordinance, and they shall only apply based on the number of employee parking spaces required. F, that site development plan review and approval is required prior to construction and use of the outdoor storage area. And then G, kind of our boilerplate, that all applicable federal, state, county, and local permits and approvals are required, including but not limited to site development plan review and compliance with all building, fire, and health codes. Would you like the recommendation for development standards now, or should we start with the special exception?
We can just do the special exception if you want. I just wanted to allow Greg to do the whole presentation at
Yeah.
once, but we're going to take separate votes
Take
just to
the
make sure.
special
we're clear.
exception first. So no changes to those conditions?
No changes. No.
Okay. And do the petitioners agree to the petitions as they are?
No issues.
Okay. Let the record show that they have agreed to the conditions as listed in the staff report. So we'll move forward. We'll accept a nomination or a recommendation now. A motion.
I move to accept case ZB-25-4,
Subject to the conditions outlined
subject to
by
the
staff.
conditions outlined.
That's for the special exception, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we'll proceed to a vote then. Mr. Nally?
Yes.
Mr. Gruce?
Yes.
Mr. Acton?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion's approved. Let's move on then to your variance. What is the staff recommendation, Alex?
Staff is recommending approval with conditions as outlined in the staff report. Condition A being that approval to not screen a portion of the outdoor storage area is limited to the north and east sides along the railroad main line siding only. The remaining boundary of the outdoor storage area must be screened in compliance with Article 7, Chapter 17, buffering and screening standards. And then condition B, that site development plan review and approval is required prior to construction and use of the outdoor storage area.
Okay, and do the petitioners agree to the conditions as listed in the staff report? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, provided all the conditions are met.
Second.
Okay, we will vote then. Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Gruce,
Yes.
Mr. Acton,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Always appreciate your concise presentation.
Alex, do we have any other business today?
No, sir, no other business.
Okay, and the last thing I'll say is thank you to the staff for an excellent report and excellent support of our meeting tonight. Thank you very much. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Stay.
Welcome to Franklin. Glad you're here.